Welcome and thank you for standing by. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. If you would like to ask a question during the question and answer session, please press star 1 on your touch-tone phone. Today's conference is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. Now I will turn the meeting over to Ms. Becky Kurtz.
Hi, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Becky Kurtz, the Director of the Office of Long-Term Care Ombudsman Programs here at the Administration on Aging, and welcome to our first webinar. This is new to me, and I really want to thank all the folks who've been helping pull this together. Lan, if you would take us to the next slide. Today we're going to be talking about the National Ombudsman Reporting System, or NORS, and we have several presenters and resources with us today. From Harmony Information Systems, we have Gail Berkeley and Ryan Burdick, who will be telling us about ORT version 1.3. And then from the Administration on Aging on the line are Valerie Cook, who will be providing us with information about how to see reports of our data from the Office of Performance and Evaluation. I will be on the line, as well as Nicholas Fox, who's with the Office of Elder Rights. If we could go to the next slide. And here's our agenda for the next hour. So for the first part, we're going to focus on submitting the NORS data and the Ombudsman Reporting Tool, or ORT, version 1.3. We'll have about 20 minutes of presentation, and then we'll open up the phone lines to your questions and answers. Right now, everyone's on mute, so save up your questions, and we'll have some time for those at the end of the first presentation. And then we'll turn it over to Valerie for part 2. She's going to talk to us about retrieving the NORS data, how you can access it through both the AoA data community as well as the Aging Integrated Database. And again, 20-minute presentation and then opportunity for any questions you may have. So I think we're, next slide. So the objectives for today's training, we hope that at the end of this training, all of you who are participating will know how to submit your 2010 NORS report information into ORT version 1.3, that you'll know how to use the AoA data community for NORS reporting and for communications related to NORS, as well as how to access and use the AGID system for NORS reporting. And I think we're ready to turn it over to Ryan for our first presentation. Oh, and before I do that, though, let me say one more thing, and that is I really want to express a huge thank you to Lan Marshall and also to Steve Cordasco, who are helping us with the logistics on this. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Becky. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be on the call with you today. I am, again, Ryan Burdick. I'm a software development manager for Harmony Information Systems. I'm located here in Essex Junction, Vermont. We also have an office in Reston, Virginia, and we've had the pleasure of working with AoA for quite a while now. A few years back, we were tasked with developing a reporting tool for NORS, and the result was the Ombudsman Reporting Tool, or ORT, which I'm delighted to show to you today. I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll get right into the application in just a moment. So what is ORT? ORT is a web-based system. We provide a link to the software. There's a small client that you have to download. It takes just minutes to install. The report data that you submit is hosted on our servers in the cloud, if you will, so you don't have to worry about backups or system crashes, losing your data, or anything like that. There's a centralized database that we host for AoA that allows us to do some really powerful things with analytical reporting, which you'll learn about later during Valerie's presentation. One of the benefits of the application is that we can push out updates whenever we need to. So if we need to make any changes, you'll always be prompted to update to the latest version of the software. And we always recommend that you do take the updates when prompted. Again, it's not a complicated install process. It takes just seconds. So I wanted to just go over quickly what's new this year. We just released a new version of ORT, version 1.3. as Becky mentioned, just this past weekend, actually, we pushed it out. It addresses any outstanding issues that were left over from last year's reporting period. The release targets this year's FY10 reports. The goals for this release were just to shore up any of the defects in the reporting client and just to ensure that data of the highest quality is reported in a timely fashion. We made a handful of changes just to ensure a smooth user experience. And so let's get started. I'm excited to show this to you. I'm going to log into the system using my account. So everybody's going to be given an account to access the system, and your account will be configured for your state. You'll have access to your state's data only. This will just take a moment to log me in. The first screen that we're going to see when we launch the application is the report list. So in this list, you see reports that you created in the past or that your state has submitted in the past. We have some older reports that were, the data was imported from the previous reporting system. But you'll see the reports that you created with ORT the past few years or that somebody in your organization did. And, the first step is to create a new report. So we want to create our 2010 report, and I'm going to click New Report. There are a number of different ways to create a report in ORT, or a number of different ways to populate your NORS submission in ORT. You can create a blank report where you just enter the data by hand. You type in the numbers. You can create a CSV import. This is importing data from a comma-separated values file. You can report on data in your Ombuds Manager database. This is available if you use Harmony's Ombuds Manager product, as I'm sure a number of you do. You can create a roll-up report, and we'll talk about that separately in a moment. And you can import data from an XML file. This is the same as importing from a comma-separated values file, but we're importing from an XML file. For XML and CSV import, we publish schemas that you or your software vendor can use to develop files to import into the system. These files are available for download on AoA's Data Community Portal, which, again, I think Valerie's going to be talking about shortly. So I'm just going to do a blank report for this demo. We're not going to have time to fill out the entire report, but I'll show you what it looks like. I'm set up right now as a Vermont state user, so I'm just going to put in Vermont Ombudsman. This is where you'd enter the name of your organization. You see this drop-down for reports, report types, and it defaults to state because I'm a state-level worker. We also support local-level or program-level reporting. Local programs can create their own reports in ORT, and then the state will have access to those reports, and the state can roll these reports up into a statewide aggregate report. That's what we saw above in the report source list. There was an option for a roll-up report. So that'll take all of those local reports and add them together and create a statewide report that can be submitted to AoA. So the next step, you see it's defaulting to my state. I'm going to pick a fiscal year, and I'll just accept the default, 2010. You see that the from and to dates are automatically filled in, automatically populated when you select a fiscal year. These dates represent the start and end date for the reporting period. So October through September, I can enter in any comments that I want to associate with this report, and I'm going to press OK. And again, it's going to spin for a minute, and then I will be taken into my new blank report. Just to step back for a second, I'm doing a blank report. I'm going to enter the data manually. If you are doing an import, it's very simple as well. The only difference is it asks you to locate the file that you want to import. So go find that CSV file or that XML file that you want to import. That can be a file on your local PC or on your network somewhere. Not much else is different with import. The report screen that you're looking at now, this data entry screen, this should look very familiar. It's modeled after the NORS paper form. You see the different sections of the report along the left-hand side here, and if I click, I can move to a new section. There's also a number of ways to move throughout the report. You can use these next and previous section buttons on the toolbar. So I'm just going to enter some sample data, and I'm just making this up as I go along, so I don't know how accurate this would be. But let's say 400, I just put in 500 cases opened. Let's say we had 400 cases closed, and maybe we'll split those between the different facility types. So I'm just going to try to total this up to 500. Maybe we had some anonymous. And that's the process. You move throughout the report. There are some numeric fields, as you know. There are some fields like section Part 1F, which is asking for a narrative, a complaint description. Very simple, sort of spreadsheet style. Shouldn't be anything that you're too unfamiliar with. The next step, once I've filled in the report, is to validate the report. So what do we mean by validate? We've built data validity checking into the system. AoA has defined a set of rules or edit checks, as we like to call them, which help ensure that you don't make any mistakes during data entry. So when we validate our report, we're double checking to make sure that our data meets those edit checks. And there are a few different ways to validate. You can validate the entire report all at once. That's this Verify Report button. This evaluates all of the validity checks for the entire report, every section of the report. Or we can do one section at a time using the Verify Part button. This will verify or validate the currently selected section. So in this case, I'm on section 1B, so it will validate 1B, all of the rules that apply to 1B. And then there's the final option to verify or validate one cell at a time. This evaluates all of the rules that relate to the currently selected field. So in this case, nursing facility resident complainants. It would run through all of the rules that apply to that field and that field only. Just to show you what this looks like, I'm going to verify or validate, rather, this particular section. And along the bottom of the screen, in a moment when it finishes processing, we're going to see a list of errors or problems in my report. So part of the problem is my report is incomplete. This is telling me that the sum of complainants for other settings, this column, has to match up with another field in Part 1D. So again, I'm not going to be able to satisfy all of these rules now because we don't have time to enter all of the data. But I just wanted to show you that if you double-click an error message, it will do two things. If the error has to do with a different section of the report, if I double-click this one here, for example, it's talking about Part 1D and how it relates to Part 1B. It's going to take me to that section, so I'll double-click that now. It's going to take me to Part 1D. And the other thing that it did was it highlighted in red the cells that have a problem. So if we go back to Part 1B, I'm going to do that again. Just click on the original error message, and it shows me that the fields that it's talking about are these here in red, and the font has changed to bold. The other settings column has a problem. So once you've finished validating your report, you save it, and you're ready to submit it to AoA. Of course, the entire report must be valid, so let me go back to the report list here, and I'll show you. Here's my new report that I just created, and there's a few different columns that are important here. The report has to be verified. It has to have a check in this verified column, and you'll only get that, again, once you've validated the entire report and you've satisfied all of those edit checks and all of the errors have gone away. So the verified column must be checked. Once that's once that's complete, this submit button on the toolbar becomes enabled. Press that button. It's going to say, are you sure you want to submit, yes or no? If you say yes, it automatically submits the report to AoA. This submitted column that you see in the list here will suddenly become checked, and that's it. You've submitted your report. It's as easy as that. Once AoA has reviewed and certified your report, once it's finalized, you'll see a check in this column, the certified column, which tells you that AoA has finalized the report. So that was it for my quick demo. There's a couple of features we won't cover in detail, but they work just like you would expect. Of course, you can print a hard copy of your report. You can select which section or which parts of the report you want to print, or you can print the whole thing. You can export your report in a variety of formats. This allows you to save a local copy of your report data. We have a number of output formats that we support, most notably Microsoft Excel. You can save your data in an Excel spreadsheet. A text file, you can save your data in plain text format, and there are a number of other output formats, HTML, XML, and some others. So that was it for my demo. I think we're going to open it up for questions.
Thank you. At this time, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your touch-tone phone. You will be prompted to record your name. Please unmute your line and do so when prompted. To withdraw your request, you may press star 2. Again, to ask your question at this time, please press star 1. One moment, please. Patty Dukiat, you may ask your question.
Hi. So I was wondering, I see that we're going to allow local users to also use ORT, and I'm wondering how everyone receives a login and password from Harmony. Thanks.
Gail, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful. Hi, Patty. This is Gail Berkeley. It's actually a very simple process. You already have an Aging Network spreadsheet for your organization. You simply have to check the ORT box and submit that back to Harmony, and we'll provision that for the user.
Okay, thanks, Gail. And what if someone doesn't have a Harmony, if they don't use Ombuds Manager, is that process different?
Brian, I believe